Chalo. I'm coming here. I'm clicking on user groups. Right? Create group. Same like WhatsApp group. Create whatever you want to create. Create it. I'm creating user. So I'm creating in front of you August. This August 15 group. That I have given the name. That's it. Come down. Don't do anything. Create the group. Right? Create the group like WhatsApp group. I have created a group. You can see. Right? Now I'm getting into that group. So because while creating the groups, I have not added any users. Now I want to add the users. Right? So I'm getting into this. But if you are a new user, if you are the new guy who are learning the AWS, for me I have users, but you might not have users. So click on users. At the left side, you are able to see the users, right? First, let's create users. So I will create user. Create user. At create user, what will do? I want to create the users. So user one. Let's consider August 15 user one. August 15 user one. So I'm creating. So let's move it. I want an I am user. Create custom password. So I'm just creating. Right. So let's create that. Next, create user. User has been created. User has been created. Right. So let me save this. So download CSV file. I downloaded. So let me return to user. So one user, August 15 user one. One user is completely fine. So I have created one user. I'm going to user groups. So what are the user group? What, like how the WhatsApp group you create, the same, get into that group. So after getting into the group, I want to add the users. If you want to add the users, you can see here there is a add user option. Same like our WhatsApp. So I'm clicking on add user option. I want to add August 15 user one. So I'm adding that guy. Now I added that guy under August 15 group. You can see. Right? August 15 group. Fine. I created a group. I added a user. Both are fine. Now we want to add the policies. I'm going to policies here. You can see. You have to click on policies, left side. Then you want to create the policy or what you want to do it. Right? What we'll do over this user group, called August 15, I want to add some policies. So go to permissions. In these permissions, here at the left side, at the right side, you are able to see add permissions. Attach policies. I'm adding policies. Under that, I am giving full S3 access. S3, just type S3. It will show you multiple things. S3, Amazon, S3 full access. Right? Then we'll try to add Lambda as well. Sorry. S3, then Lambda. 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 So you can see Lambda full access, AWS Lambda full access. Both I want to add it. So add it, attach the policies. Now if you look at here, it will show you the policies which you added. Policies which you have added. You can see that. So we added Amazon S3 full access, Amazon Lambda full access. Now you try to understand there is a August 15 group. In that group, you added August 15 user one and you added two policies. Two policies means Amazon S3 full access, Amazon Lambda full access. Only two services you added, right? Now what we'll do, we'll try to log in via this user. Now this user will be able to access only these two services. Apart from these two services, if that guy is trying to access any other thing, it will throw error. So I'm getting into incognito mode. Let's do that, right? So do one, let's go here into that user, we'll understand. We are logging in as that user. For that user, this is account ID. So that we'll try to take his details as well, credentials as well. This is the credential of August 15 user. Let's try to understand. So this is the password and the username. So let's take this. This is the username. I'm taking that. I'm coming here. Let me add this username. Fine. Password I'm taking. Password is August123. So let's come here. Let's add it and remember this account. Let's sign in. Right? It will ask the old password. So I'm giving old password. The new password I'm creating. Right? Confirm password change. It's working. We logged in. We logged in as August 15 user. You can see. It will show you August 15 user one. August 15. Now try to understand. The moment I log in, even this guy doesn't have an access to this as well. But it says you don't have permission to service catalog list application. It requires something. Now you will be able to access S3. You will be able to access Lambda. But apart from that, let's me go to S3. In S3, we don't have anything at this point. I have not added anything. So we will be able to access S3. You can create the bucket. It is allowing you. The moment you click on create bucket, it is allowing you. You can create the bucket. So I'm creating a bucket randomly, August 15, 16, something like that randomly, right? So I'll create a bucket. So you can see that this guy is able to create the bucket. Who? August 15. Right? You can play around S3, but if I go to glue, AWS glue, if I'm trying to do anything, right? I want to create. So before that, let me show you with other things. DynamoDB, Athena. You can see here what it said. I'm trying to get into EMR. It says you don't have permission to use Amazon EMR API cluster. Request permission from your administrator. Means now you log in as a August 15 user. Under August 15 user, if you go here, what permissions you are having only two permissions. What permissions? You can able to access S3. You can able to access S3 full access. You can create, you can download, you can put anything, you can do it, and you can have an access over Lambda. Apart from that, you don't have any access. You try to create, you go here to IAM, try to go to IAM. So whether you have an access to see the things, you can understand here clearly. You can understand. It directly throws an error. What it is throwing an error. You can see you don't have permission to IAM. You don't have permission. Directly down as well, you don't have permission. You access denied, because that for that guy you are having only two access, that is Amazon S3 Lambda. You can play around Amazon S3 and Lambda. Apart from that, August 15 user one doesn't have any other access. This is called as an identity access management. Identity is nothing but August 15 is a identity. For that identity, what access you are giving? You are giving an access only to S3. You are giving an access only to Lambda. Apart from that, you are not allowing him to touch down other things. This is the way you are accessing, you are controlling the access of that particular guy. This is called as an access management. IAM, Identity Access Management. How much clear you are at identity access management, that will help down when you are building the data pipelines. When you are building the data pipelines, majority of the errors will get from IAM only. Like if you should able to understand what the error is, first of all. From where what is the root cause of that error? The root cause of the error is from IAM or from other things. If it is from the code perspective, obviously as a developer you will resolve that. But if it is from IAM, First, you need to understand that whether you have access to control IAM or not, leave about that. Whether you have control, admin is controlling that or developer is controlling that, keep that apart. But at least you should understand that, okay, this error I am getting, it means that this is an IAM error. So we need to reach out to admin. So admin will solve this. At least this much of an understanding you should have. In some of the companies, when you go for interview, or else in some of the companies, so there won't be any admin. So developers themselves has to understand about IAM, how to access, how to utilize, how great to utilize that. So this is about user groups, users and roles, and how you are controlling the access. This is much more about IAM. So there is much more to discuss, but a quick understand as per demo. So this is what understand about IAM. Clear guys, till this point, a quick response. Any sort of doubts? Anyone? Biplo, Harishmita, Kalyan, Rishabh, Shubham, Tarun, Tushar, Vibha. Hope it is clear.
Clear, Karthik.
Yeah, Karthik.
Right? So this is about IAM. So in this, I'm left with last topic. After that, I'll discuss about the program and everything. Right? Now coming here, coming to the role. What is role? So I discussed about all things. I discussed about user groups. I discussed about user. I discussed about policies on a lighter note. But I didn't discuss about role. Role is nothing but, see, there are multiple services over Amazon. S3 is a service, Lambda is a service. Right? So Lambda is nothing but a function where you will write a Python function, do generally, in simple words. Now consider that tomorrow Lambda wants to read the data from S3. Lambda wants to read the data from S3. Then if Lambda wants to read the data from S3, Lambda needs a permission. So both are AWS services. But one service, if one service want to interact with another service, then it also needs a permission. It also needs a permission. That permission is generally called as a role. Roles are meant for services. Policies are meant for persons like us. Like we are the persons. Like for human beings like us who is working under a company, Mohan, Kalyan, these are the people. So for people, we have policies. For AWS services, you have roles. Means roles are meant for AWS services, policies are meant for the people. Both are called as, these both comes under identity only. These are the identities. Identity can be a person, identity can be a AWS service as well. Now if Lambda wants to read the data from S3, then Lambda needs a permission to access the data from S3. That permission itself is called as a role. We'll create a role for Lambda, we'll add that role into the Lambda, then Lambda will be able to read the data from S3. Until unless Lambda will not be in a position to read the data from S3. By default, Lambda can't read the data from S3. Do remember, this is the way our AWS works. How great you understand about IAM, that will help you to understand the things at a very greater way. Because all other things are super simple. All other things are super simple. Just the thing is, like, the guy who is explaining you the things, he should explain you the things in a greater way. That's it. In a deeper manner, making you to go through the things in a practical way, much more data pipelines and all those things. Then you can understand the things at a greater. There is no doubt. Right? But these four are very, very, very important, which will help you to understand it at a great. Till this point, I'm stopping the class about our